Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. A wandering monk, sannyasi, was trying to clear his doubt. How to realize that all the world is God? It was 15th May 1935. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. If you make your outlook that of wisdom, you will find the world to be God. Without knowing the Supreme Spirit, how will you find His all pervasiveness? In answer to some question, Maharshi said, there is a state when words cease and silence prevails. Devotee questioning how to communicate thought to each other. Maharshi is giving the answer. That is only when there is the notion of two. Devotee questioning how to get peace. Maharshi is giving the answer. That is the natural state. The mind abstracts the innate peace. Our investigation is only in the mind. Investigate that mind, it will disappear. There is no entity by name mind. Because of the emergence of thoughts, we surmise something from which they start. That we term mind. When we probe to see what it is, there is nothing like it after it has vanished. Peace will be found to remain eternal. Devotee questioning. What is buddhi? Intellect. Maharshi is giving the answer. The thinking or discriminating faculty. These are mere names, be it the ego, the mind, or the intellect. It is all the same. Whose mind? Whose intellect? The ego's. Is the ego real? No, we confound the ego and call it intellect or mind. Devotee questioning. Emerson says soul answers soul by itself, not by description or words. Maharshi is giving the answer. Quite so. However much you learn, there will be no bounds to knowledge. You ignore the doubter, but try to solve the doubts. On the other hand, hold on to the doubter, and the doubts will disappear. Devotee questioning, then the question resolves itself to knowing the self. Maharshi is giving the answer. Quite so. Devotee questioning. How to know the self? Maharshi is giving the answer. See what the self is, what you consider to be the self is really either the mind or the intellect or the I thought. The other thoughts arise only after the I thought. So hold on to it. The others will vanish, leaving the self as the residuum. Devotee questioning, the difficulty lies in reaching it. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. There is no reaching it at all because it is eternal. Here and now, if the self were to be gained anew, it would not be permanent. Devotee questioning how to obtain equanimity or peace or equilibrium of mind. What is the best way? Maharshi is giving the answer. I have already answered it. Investigate the mind. It is eliminated and you remain over. Let your standpoint become that of wisdom, then the world will be found to be God. Drustin gnanamayam krutva pasyet brahmamayam jagat. So the question is one of outlook. You pervade all, see yourself and all are understood. But you have now lost hold of yourself and go about doubting other things. Devotee questioning how to know the self. Maharshi is giving the answer. Are there two eyes? How do you know your own existence? Do you see yourself with these eyes? Question yourself. How does this question arise? Do I remain to ask it or not? Can I find myself as in a mirror? Because your outlook has been outward bent, it has lost sight of the self and your vision is external. The self is not found in external objects. Turn your look within and plunge down, you will be the self. Devotee questioning. Is discovery of the self dependent on the observance of caste rules or should we flout them? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer not in the beginning. Observe them to start with. Caste rules serve as a check on the vagaries of the mind. It is thus purified. Devotee questioning the unknowable can be attained only by the grace of the unknowable. Maharshi is giving the answer. He helps the attainment. That is the grace. Devotee questioning how to check the mind. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. Will a thief betray himself? Will the mind find itself? The mind cannot seek the mind. You have ignored what is real and are holding on the mind, which is unreal, and also trying to find what it is. Was there mind in your sleep? It was not. It is now here. It is therefore impermanent. Can the mind be found by you? The mind is not you. You think you are the mind and therefore ask me how it is checked. If it is there, it can be checked, but it is not. Understand this truth by Search for unreality is fruitless. Therefore, seek the reality, the self. That is the way to rule over the mind. There is only one thing real. Devotee questioning, what is the one real thing? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. That is what is. The others are only appearances. Diversity is not its nature. We are reading the printed characters on paper but ignore the paper which is the background. Similarly, you are taken up by the manifestations of the mind and let go the background. Whose fault is it? Devotee questioning, is there a limit to the self? Maharshi is giving the answer, what is the self? Devotee questioning, the individual soul is the self. Maharshi is giving the answer, what is the individual soul? Is there any difference between the two, or are they identical? Any new appearances are bound to disappear. Anything created will certainly be destroyed. The eternal is not barren, nor does it die. We are now confounding appearances with reality. Appearance carries its end in itself. What is it that appears newly? If you cannot find it, surrender to the substratum of appearances unreservedly, then the reality will be left over as the residue. Devotee questioning, what happens to the man after death? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. Engage yourself in the living present. The future will take care of itself. Do not worry about the future. The stage before creation and the process of creation are dealt within the scripture in order that you may know the present. Because you say you are barren, therefore they say yes, and add that God created you. But do you see God or anything else in your sleep? If God the real, why does He not shine forth in your sleep also? You are always now the same as you were in sleep. You are not different from that one in sleep, but why should there be difference in the feelings or experiences of the two states? Did you ask while asleep the question regarding your birth, or where do I go after death? Why think of all these now in the wakeful state? Let what is barren think of its birth and the remedy, its case and ultimate results. What is birth? It is of the I thought or of the body. Is I separate from the body or identical with it? How did this I thought arise? Is the I thought your nature or is anything else of your nature? Devotee questioning. Who is to ask these questions? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. Exactly. That is it. There is no end to it all. Devotee questioning. Are we then to keep quiet? Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. Doubts says to afflict when the confusion moha is surfaced. Devotee questioning. Your statements amount to session of vichara, investigation. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi is giving the answer. If Atma Vichara, self investigation, ceases, Loka Vichara, world investigation, takes its place. Laughter in the hall. Engage in self investigation, then the non self will disappear. The self will be left over. This is self investigation of the self. The one word self is equivalent to the mind, body, man, individual, the supreme and all else. To be continued. Please subscribe HOMAGANDHI Creations YouTube channel.